What's up, everybody? It's Paz Smirgo. Got another deck profile coming up for you. Sorry for the lack of uploads. I've been working on a project, and also with this semester coming to a close here very soon, and Christmas coming up, and you know, Merry Christmas to you all, and Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. You know, Happy Holidays to you. But with all that coming up, it's been rather busy lately, so I haven't had time to get deck profiles up. I'm actually hopefully going to get an LP up here once the holidays are over. I have an extended period of time off, so I should be able to record like a madman and edit, you know, just record the rest of this LP that I'm working on in a week, and then spend the other week and a half or whatever I have off editing and get it out, and that way I can stay on a consistent upload schedule. Anyways, this isn't an update video. This is a deck profile. This is a deck profile for Yveltal, Zoroark, Gallade. This is something that I've been seeing around that's been doing fairly well, and I figured I had all the cards to build it, so why not build it? It's something I've been testing and tweaking and constantly reworking to how I like it. Keep in mind this deck plays with my playstyle. It might not ultimately line up with yours. Hopefully it does. If you disagree with any of the things I've done here, let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you would change. Don't just, you know, come on and say like, oh, that's stupid, and leave the comment at that, because that doesn't help me, it doesn't help you, it just, you know, gets you a comment on a YouTube video, and if that's really what you're going for, Anyways, jumping into the deck, we're going to start off with 2 Shaman EXs. This is something I've been considering bumping up one more, but it was the first thing I cut when I had to find space for one card, just because I thought, well, had to find some space to make the deck work a little bit quicker with getting things into the graveyard. Shaman doesn't really help with that. It actually kind of hinders the Gallade play, and that first turn Gallade play is kind of what helps us out against a lot of decks. It helps you out against Toad because you can, you know, put your item draws closer to the bottom, have time to get out of the combo, get your supporters up so that if you have to go in, you can at least hit the Seismitoad for that 130 damage, and, you know, make him think twice for next turn. Shaman was just one of these nice cards for setup, and playing 3 got a little cloggy for me. I definitely would not play 4 in this deck just because of the strategy. 2 seems to be the optimal number. Next, we have one of our main attackers in the deck, and that is Yveltal EX. We play 2 copies of that. I really would like to play a third in here, and there is one card that I would say if you wanted to cut it to play a third. This card's really great. I mean, we all know Yveltal's been a fantastic attack ever since this card came out. There have been variants of Yveltal EX decks out there, going for varying degrees of success, and it's because of Evil Ball and Y Cyclone. Next up, we play 3 of the baby Yveltals. This is your energy acceleration for the deck. It's also your hard counter to Night March, because you're one-shotting Joltix and Pumpkaboos. I mean, yes, you are filling up their graveyard with Night Marchers. Not graveyard, discard pile. Wrong card game. You are filling up their discard pile with Night Marchers, but you're only giving them a 1-for-1 prize return on that. And with that being, you know, this being one of the more popular decks, and Night March being, you know, more popular than this, and I figured this was a good way to counter that, was to make a deck that did low prize rewards for Night March opponents, and this is a great way to do that. Next, we're playing a 2/1 line of Zoroark. We're playing two Zorua here with Moonlight Madness. This is the better of the 2. I feel like they both have Dark Edge. They both have 60 HP. Not Moonlight Madness, excuse me, Moonless Madness. Just for that chance of confusion, should you actually have to do it, can be nice. Then, like I said, it's a 2/2 line, so we're playing 2 stand-in Zoroarks. Stand-in working like Keldio's ability, Keldeo EX's ability. Once per turn, before you attack, if this is Pokemon's on your bench, you may switch with your active Pokemon. And then Mind Jack in here really shines, so it's 30 times, 10 plus 30 times the number of Pokemon on your opponent's bench. So you're hitting for crazy numbers with some things. In order for them to get big knockouts on your Pokemon if you're playing against a deck like, let's say, Mega Rayquaza, which I know has been dwindling in popularity, but people are still going to be playing it. I played it at a league challenge a while ago and had a blast just because the deck's fun. So some people might still be playing that deck. This deck can knock out Mega Ray if they get greedy and load up their bench. Like, they kind of have to make that deck work with all their Hoopas and their Shaymans and stuff. And Bronzongs and Bronzors and things like that. So Zoroark can do some damage. It also punishes your opponent for loading up their bench, which is really nice. Then we're playing one copy of Zoroark Break, the 140 kind of half evolution onto Zoroark. We're using this because Foul plays a really nice attack. There's still a lot of Giratina decks rolling around, so if you can Chaos Wheel them, it gets a little bit ridiculous. You know, Primal Groudon, hit them for like 200 damage for 1 energy. It's just turned out to be a very nice addition to the deck. And this is that one card that I would say, if you don't want to play this, to cut it and go ahead and play that third Yveltal EX, I would say that's probably you know, your call. It's a player call. I happen to like Zoroark Break a little bit more and wanted to use it, so I thought I'd throw it in this deck. The last 2 Pokemon we are playing are 2 of Pokemon Breakthrough's Premonition Gallade. If you don't know what this card does, it's once per turn before you attack, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and then put them back in any order that you like. This helps you set up your next 1 to 5 turns depending on how many cards you're going to go through. Sensitive Blade is a fantastic attack because the turn you get this out, because note the text on the card, if you can't see it, look it up. The text on the card says if you played a supporter from your hand during this turn, this attack does 70 more damage. If you play Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick to get this Gallade out, you're doing 130. You're doing 130 and you're one-shotting Electrics because you're getting for weakness. This is your main attack against Magnezone Raikou. It hits ridiculously hard against Manectric and Mega Manectric decks. It can get the one-shot if you've got the Float Stone on Zoroark and you can stand in and retreat, or put the Float Stone on something else and retreat out and promote Gallade up and just hit hard. This card's fantastic. Onto the supporter lineup. We play a really, really small supporter lineup. We're only playing 2 Professor Sycamore. This was a really hard decision for me because we don't have very much draw support in this format, and Professor Sycamore was the best of that draw support that we had. So it kind of pained me to put this down to 2, but I kind of took the inspiration for this from your typical Archie's Blastoise deck that only ran 2 to 3 Junipers, and it's just because a lot of times I would see Professor Sycamore in my hand, and pretty much in this deck wish it was just about any other card. So I cut it to play a few different things. This is something that obviously if you wanted to bump it back up, let me know why and let me know what you would do to change this around. Next up in supporters, we are playing 2 Maxie's Hidden Ball Trick. This is to get your Gallade out. If you don't know what this does, you can only play this card when it's the last card in your hand. You place a fighting type Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, and then you draw 5 cards. So it does kind of make up for the fact that we're only playing Professor Sycamore. So at 2, we kind of get a little bit more draw support from this guy here. It's not much, I know, but it's very, very helpful for us to get this on turn 1. Next, we are playing 2 Lysander, just so that we can, cherry pick stuff off the bench, control what we're knocking out, and control how the game's played. Next, we're playing 1 Judge because hand disruption is fantastic. And playing this when you have a low number of cards in your hand anyways doesn't really hurt you. The last thing we're playing is 1 Hex Maniac. This is nice to shut off. We are playing an item-centric deck, and I know Trevenant is getting a break evolution in the next set, I believe. So you might see Trevenant decks popping back up in popularity. This will shut off that Trevenant item lock. It obviously does nothing for the Seismitoad item lock, but it'll at least shut off Trevenant item lock. It shuts off Wobbuffet, ability locking if you need to Premonition or you need to use stand-in. Never mind, it doesn't do that because of that. It shuts off bats on your opponent's turn. You can shut off item locks with Trevenant, like I said. I don't know why I misspoke about Wobbuffet. just have it on the mind. You can really slow your opponent down if they're playing Rayquaza and they have to rely on, you know, 4 Shamans and 2 Hoopas, or decks that are Shaman-centric. You can kind of slow them down with this. And this is your main tech that helps you win against Magnezone because they can't accelerate energy without their abilities. And Raikou becomes easier to kill without its ability. Next, we move on to our items. It's a pretty hefty item lineup. We're playing 4 Ultra Ball, just for consistency's sake. We're playing 4 VS Seeker because everybody who plays Pokemon should be playing 4 VS Seeker, and it's very centric to our combo. Next, we're playing 4 Acrobike to speed through the deck. This is why I kind of felt like playing 2 Professor Sycamore was all right, because we can, you know, we have Acrobike to speed up our hand. We're playing 4 Battle Compressor to speed through the deck, get energies into the graveyard, get our combo into the graveyard, get, you know, maybe some cards that are dead in certain matchups into the discard pile. Really helps. I apologize if I keep saying graveyard. I had been playing excuse me for that. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic long before I played this game. It's just going to take a long time to break me of that habit. I'm trying to say discard pile. Next, we're playing 3 Trainer's Mail. This is just to help get us to those VS Seekers, get us to our low supporter lineup, get us to our items, speed us through the deck. Then we're playing 3 Muscle Band to make our attackers just hit that much harder. We're playing 2 Floatstone because we are playing Zoroark, so it's kind of nice to play Floatstone and get that old combo going. And the last item card we are playing is 1 Super Rod to recycle kind of our low number of Pokemon. Next, we're playing 2 Shadow Circle. This was a stadium of choice. I've been seeing a lot of players play Parallel City. It's kind of a debate right now. Do you play Parallel City? Do you not? I am in the camp that you don't play Parallel City if you're playing Zoroark as one of your attackers. If you're playing him just as a, you know, Russian retreat style Pokemon where he's just there to get your heavy things out of the active and onto the bench and get something else up, sure, go ahead, play Parallel City all you want. But I feel like it really counteracts Zoroark's ability to hit for high numbers with Mind Jack because you're limiting your opponent's bench. Or you're limiting your bench if you want to limit their attacks, but that's not good either because you need to be able to use your bench face. People have said that it's a good card against Night March. I don't see its utility against Night March. I see its utility against Vespiquen, meaning they can't use their Fellware Letter Unknowns to draw cards and spiral up their attack. But I absolutely cannot stand Parallel City in this deck. I actually tried running a 2-2 split on stadiums with 2 Parallel Cities and 2 Shadow Circles, but I ultimately came back and upped the Acrobike and the Battle Compressor both to 4 instead of playing 4 stadiums. I feel like this deck really needs Shadow Circle's protection with the popularity of Mega Manectric. It's already hitting for crazy amount of damage, and you don't want it to be hitting one-shots on, you know, more than 50% of your Pokemon. That's my opinion on it. Keep in mind that just an opinion, it can be wrong. You don't have to agree with it whatsoever. That's my rationale. As much as I said that I despise Parallel City, there might come a point when Stadium War becomes more important to me, and I either cut one of those Acrobikes and one of those Battle Compressors for 2 more Shadow Circles, or I go ahead and say, fine, I might buckle and see if its utility actually works and throw in 2 Parallel Cities, because I happen to have 2 really nice Reverse Hollow ones that I wouldn't mind using in something. I just don't think it goes well in this deck. Next on to the energy, pretty standard for a Darkness deck. We're playing 4 Double Colorless and 7 Darkness energies. It's pretty standard. I wouldn't go much lower than this. I'd keep it right about here. This seems to be, for me at least, in the way that I get lucky with draws, a good number for grabbing energies out of the deck. Alright, that's it. Make sure if you'd like, drop me a follow on Twitter. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon content. Like I said, I'm working on getting some LPs finished up. Well, 1 LP finished up. I'm looking at getting some showdown battles recorded, getting back into the old swing of things like we used to do, and getting together a recording and uploading schedule with my work. You know, after this year, once it's done being a brand new job, hopefully I can get back into my regular cycle for you guys. But thank you so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the deck. I hope you use it. And with all that being said, this is Palatown Smeargle signing out.